All right, welcome to episode number 6, Big Mouth Willie Bass Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Willis.
And I'm Matt Willis.
And we were going to do a live show, but of course, computer problems, internet problems, you name it, we've got it. Case of the measles.
Yep.
Nothing was quite working, so we're just going to go ahead and record the old-fashioned way and upload it afterwards. Although we are currently live on Twitter, I believe. Yeah, there we are. Hello, Twitter followers, all 10 of you, lol.
All 10,000.
You want to go ahead and plug that in over there. So yeah, we're doing a special NFL draft show here. We are watching it as it is going down, so we'll just kind of give our thoughts and analysis on each pick as they come in. Matt, first off, before we get going here, because I don't know what they're doing, we're, at 5:16, and there's still nothing going on. Roger Goodell is talking to the TV. I want to get your thoughts on the draft. What do you anticipate going down today? Do you think we're going to have any surprises in the top 5, top 10?
I think a couple of teams could trade up. It could be a lot of trades, and you never know with some of these teams. A lot of bad organizations are in the top 5 and 10, so looking forward to it.
They're picking in the top 10 for a reason.
Exactly.
So I think we would both agree that Joe Burrow is going to go number 1. The question is, will the Cincinnati Bengals potentially trade out of that pick? Because there were some talks, some rumors going around as early as this morning that the Miami Dolphins were ready to throw everything but the kitchen sink, including the kitchen sink, to possibly move up to pick number 1. Do you think that we will see a trade, or do you think Cincinnati is going to be locked in here at number 1?
No, I don't see a trade happening. I don't know how you wouldn't draft Joe Burrow here.
Well, I mean, look, the Bengals, they haven't had a legit quarterback, I would say, since Carson Palmer. I mean, Andy Dalton had a couple decent years for him. Obviously, they made the playoffs a few years there. But, I mean, Andy Dalton's not a franchise quarterback by any means. So they moved on from him. I mean, it's
he's
a
still on the
no-brainer.
team, though, but yeah.
I thought they got rid of him.
No, I'm pretty sure he's still on the roster.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. We're going to have to check our sources on that.
Well, they're showing Joe Burrow on the TV, and he's not on the phone. Is that a sign that they're not picking Joe Burrow?
No, I think if the Bengals are going to hang on to this pick, which we anticipate that they will, then Andy Dalton will. I mean, Joe Burrow will definitely be going at pick number 1. You got Andy Dalton on my mind now.
He was 2014 Mr. Football. Well, that sells it for me.
That's great. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, it looks like Andy Dalton still is on the Bengals. Man, I thought for sure they got rid of him.
I think he has like another year on his contract, but it's been like such a foregone conclusion that the Bengals will pick Burrow that they're not even really, considering him as anything.
Well, you got to think that the Bengals are going to be trading him away, right? I mean, what's the point of keeping him? I mean, he's just going to be a lame duck quarterback at this point. I don't think he's going to have a whole lot of motivation to go out there and, prove the doubters wrong. I mean, the Bengals clearly are giving up on him, which they have good reason to do.
Yeah. Well, he could still be like a veteran presence, as a backup. So, with experience,
As long as he has the right attitude.
I mean, they call him a Red Ryder BB gun for a reason.
Yeah. So the Bengals are on the clock right now, and we both agree that it definitely should be Joe Burrow that goes with this pick.
It would be crazy, though, if they did not pick Joe Burrow here. I know it's like probably a 1% chance, but if that did happen, I think we would lose our minds.
I mean, I just don't see what other direction they could possibly go in here. I mean, unless they value Tua or Justin Herbert over Burrow, which I don't see that being a possibility.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of Chase Young, the edge rusher from Ohio State.
I mean, as much as I love Chase Young, and I think he's probably the can't-miss prospect in this draft, I mean, he's not going to change the fortunes of the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals have so many issues right now. They haven't had a quarterback in who knows how long. Like I said, since Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they had to take their quarterback here. I wouldn't waste any time, mess around. And then obviously from here on out, second, third round, etc., address the offensive line, get that defense
Yeah, they
in
need
order.
to. Offensive line in particular, they got to protect their franchise quarterback.
Yeah, this isn't going to be an overnight fix, okay? I mean, Burrow's going into a pretty crappy situation. So it's not like Burrow's going to immediately go in there and the Bengals are going to be winning games. They're still probably only going to win a couple games next year, let's be honest.
Yeah. Bro, he looks pissed.
He does not look like he wants to go to Cincinnati.
I don't think I would either.
Yeah, the weather's terrible. The franchise is terrible.
Terrible.
Not a lot of positives, if you ask me.
Nah. Yeah, they got that team's a mess right now.
Well, while we're waiting, Matt, I wanted to get into this in the pre-draft, but we didn't even get a chance to do that since technology fails us again. Yesterday, we had quite the trade, a blockbuster go down. Rob Gronkowski gets traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he has been retired for over a year, but the Patriots were willing to trade him away. What were your thoughts on that?
I think it's a good move by the Buccaneers.
The Yuccaneers.
Yucks. Yeah.
Well, of course, because you pair him up with Brady, his old buddy from New England.
Exactly.
And Gronk has made it clear over the years that there's nobody else he would rather play with than Tom Brady, because you might remember a few years ago, the Patriots wanted to trade Gronk to the Lions. Matt Patricia wanted him, former defensive coordinator of the Patriots.
Yeah, but Gronkowski vetoed that.
And he said that he would rather retire than play for the Lions or anyone else. He only wants to play for Brady.
Yep, exactly.
And what is it? What happens? They make the trade happen. He goes to Tampa Bay. So personally, I like the trade. I believe the Bucs only gave up a 4th-round pick to New England for him, so it's absolutely worth the gamble. I mean, if it would have been a 2nd or a 1st-round pick, I would have said, what are they thinking? Because he's an injury-prone tight end, hasn't played in over a year. But for a 4th-round pick, it's definitely worth the gamble.
Yeah, I mean, he may not be as fast or, as productive as he once was. I mean, he's younger, obviously, but he's still going to get the defense's attention, They're probably going to start to maybe even double team him. It just opens the field up more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, they have Michael Irvin talking on here.
And now there's Booger. Booger McFarland.
Booger Mobile.
Oh my goodness, he's still employed.
Now the fact that it's now 3 minutes and 50 seconds, the Bengals are just messing with us.
I think so. I mean, I think I saw this on Twitter like a week ago, and I think it's a brilliant idea. If you're picking number 1, as soon as the draft starts, the pick should be in already.
Yeah.
Because this team, the Bengals, have known that they're going to have the number 1 pick since when? January, late December? So there should be no doubt at this point who they're going to take. They should know exactly what they're going to do. Now, unless there's a team on the phone with them right now trying to move up to this spot, again, I don't see it happening. But unless that's the reason, there's no other possible explanation for why the Bengals have not made their selection yet.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't, unless if like a team is willing to give up like 5 first-round picks, I don't see why the Bengals would not pick Joe Burrow here. Because he's probably like the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning before that.
Well, and it's crazy because Burrow really kind of came out of nowhere in a sense last year because nobody really had him on the radar as far as, who was going to be the top quarterback drafted in 2020. I think we all would agree that last year most of us thought it was going to be Tua. Then Tua gets hurt, of course. There's all these questions now about his hip, and he's had other injury issues in the past, so his durability is a major question mark. Justin Herbert, I just don't believe is worthy of a number 1 pick. I'm kind of questioning if he's even worth a top 10 pick, in all honesty. I feel like there's bust written all over that guy.
Yeah, I agree, actually.
But yeah, I mean, Burrow just came out of kind of nowhere and had an absolutely tremendous season last year for LSU, of course, leading into the national championship and winning it. So, I mean, look, he obviously proved himself last year, but we also don't have a lot of tape on him either.
Yeah, well, he was a starter in 2018 as well, so it's not like he was a one and done. But
Right, but like I said, he wasn't really on anyone's radar
yeah,
as far as going early in the draft.
well, good for him for getting up those boards, right?
Stepping it up.
Yeah.
All right, well, it looks like the pick is in.
Yeah. And they're showing giraffes.
Isn't that cute?
Cute and getting cuter. Yeah, the Bengals are being too cute. Or should I should say the Bungles?
He's got a Bengals cap in his hand.
Ah!
But he wasn't on the phone, which I find interesting. Unless they talked to him before this all started.
And he did not look happy either.
No, neither did his parents.
Is he going to pull an Eli? Stay tuned.
Yeah, there you go.
It is.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
And it looks like he's got his headphones on. He's listening to music. So.
He's getting that motivation, that motivational music before, getting wallets by.
That is absolutely insane. All right, so no surprise to us. Joe Burrow going number 1 to Cincinnati.
Good pick.
That's something that we've pretty much have expected since day one.
The Bengals got a good one.
Now it's on to number 2, the Washington Redskins. And this also, I think, is a pretty much a slam dunk pick. It's got to be Chase Young.
Yeah.
I mean, what other direction do the Redskins possibly go here, unless they don't believe that Dwayne Haskins is the answer?
I was going to say that actually. The Redskins, or as we call them, the Deadskins, they're an unpredictable team. You never know what direction they're going to go. And I could see them possibly picking Tua here, but I don't think that would be what I would do. I don't think that would be the right decision. Because you got to let Haskins develop more. It's way too early to give up after just 1 year.
I agree, but I'm also not a huge fan of Haskins. I personally don't believe that in the long run he's going to end up being their franchise quarterback. I mean, look, I know it's early, and you're absolutely right. They can't necessarily give up on him right now. I mean, I don't think it would be an Arizona Cardinals situation where they draft Josh Rosen 1 year and the very next year they're trading him to Miami.
Yeah.
But, I just... The Redskins are an interesting team because I feel like they're a lot better than the number 2 overall pick. Like, they've got a pretty good roster, I think.
Yeah.
But
a lot of it's poor coaching. They got Ron Rivera now, who is a very qualified head coach. So.
Right. They got rid of Jay Gruden, which they should have done years ago. They shouldn't have even hired him to begin with. I mean, I didn't understand that hire from the get-go. But, yeah, they finally have a good coach in place, like you said, Ron Rivera. So, like I said, I think the roster in town is already really there. They're not too far off. If Haskins can take the next step forward, I think this is a team that could definitely compete in the NFC East this year. I mean, that whole division is so unpredictable.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of maybe even wide open at the moment. So, but yeah, I think Chase Young is kind of like one of those guys similar to Myles Garrett a couple of years ago, Jadeveon Clowney. If it wasn't for Burrow, he probably would have been the first overall pick. So
for sure,
I feel like they gotta pick, unless if they trade back, because I was thinking maybe Miami might trade up, but
right, that's what we were hearing really all week. That Miami is just knocking on everyone's door right now, wanting to know if they can move up. For what reason, I don't really know, because it doesn't appear like they want to draft Tua anymore. And if they did, I don't feel like they would even have to move up, because it sounds like everybody in the top 5 is scared to take them. Unless somebody, is just sending out smoke screens, which definitely could be the case.
Which I don't agree with, honestly. I think Tua is a top talent. I would still pick Burrow ahead of him, but I think people are, blowing his injury situation way out of proportion.
I mean, I can understand teams being concerned about it. But personally, yeah, if I'm picking in the top 5 or 10 and Tua lands in my lap and I have a desperate need at quarterback, I probably will take a chance on the guy because we know what he's capable of doing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I really think he's a transcendent talent. And if you're really that concerned about his injuries, well, look, it's the NFL. You're going to get banged up regardless. And honestly, I would just look at maybe taking another quarterback later in the draft, kind of like what the Redskins did several years ago when they took RG3 with the number 2 overall pick. And then they ended up taking Kirk Cousins in the 3rd round, I believe, in that same draft.
Yeah.
Maybe do something similar if you're that concerned about it. But yeah, I don't get it. I personally would take Tua over Herbert for sure. But again, it just seems like a lot of teams are scared to take him right now.
Yeah. I feel like if the Dolphins, like if Tua is on the board when the Dolphins have their selection, I feel like if they do pass up on him, it might be a similar situation to what happened with Drew Brees all those years ago, because he almost joined Miami, but they were scared because of his injury.
They backed out last minute.
And he went to New Orleans, and he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer now.
The rest is history.
So,
well, other needs that the Redskins need, Matt, they need a corner, linebacker, offensive line, because Trent Williams has clearly made his case that he is not going to return to the Redskins, even though he missed all of last year.
Don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him either. They also need tight end help. Jordan Reed, gosh, I mean, that guy, so much talent, but has a million concussions at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he honestly needs to hang it up. I can't believe he's still trying to play.
It's bad.
And then wide receiver-wise, I mean, I don't think they're really that far off, honestly.
Yeah. Those are definitely needs for the Redskins, but I feel like all those that you listed are, they can get those later in the draft. I feel like just best available player right now is, Chase Young, obviously. So I don't think they should really even think about it.
Well, last year they took, I believe he was a 2nd or 3rd round pick, Scary Terry, their receiver from Ohio State.
Yeah.
So, and he had honestly a really impressive rookie year. He did a lot more than I could have ever anticipated, considering who his quarterbacks were last year, Case Keenum, and then of course Haskins later on in the year. So he really, I thought, bursted onto the scene. So yeah, maybe they go grab another receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round. So there's obviously positions they need to fill, but I mean, Chase Young, like we were saying earlier, I mean, he's pretty much a can't-miss guy, I would say.
Yeah. I agree. That would be a good pairing, him and Ryan Kerrigan. They're 2 good edge rushers.
Yeah.
Get after that quarterback. You got to have that in today's NFL. So, it says the pick is in. It's been like that for 5 minutes now. So,
but they're interviewing Joe Burrow.
Who's that?
Prospect Cam.
He is wearing sunglasses indoors.
All right, so there's Chase Young. Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder why. That's a little suspicious.
Wink.
So Chase Young is on the phone, so it seems pretty clear-cut that he will be a Washington Redskin, which is a great pick for them. Instantly makes that defense a whole lot better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You don't want to overcomplicate things when you have the top 2 picks. So.
No. Exactly. You just want to go for the guy. I mean, even if it's not necessarily a need per se, just go with best player available. Well, man, let's go ahead and look ahead here, because we're going to just go ahead and assume it is going to be Chase Young. Who do you think the Lions are going to be looking at with pick number 3?
They have options.
'Cause I've heard a lot of people saying that Jeff Okudah, is that how you pronounce it? The corner from Ohio State would probably make sense for the Lions, because they've had secondary issues for years, and they just, of course, lost Darius Slay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of issues there.
Yeah.
I have them picking Jeff Okudah. I don't want to announce that last name wrong, but let's make this official real quick.
Yeah, here's the pick for the Skins.
Yep,
Chase Young.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Big shot. But yeah,
So, sorry to interrupt, but first 2 picks, no surprises. Go ahead.
Jeff Okudah, I think, should be the pick for the Lions. They should not draft a quarterback. I know some people aren't high on Matthew Stafford. I personally like him. I think it's more just a victim of the organization he's in.
Absolutely.
I think he's a pretty good quarterback. So I think they should. Best talent available. They need secondary help. Just get Okudah, in my opinion.
Yeah, Okudah seems to be like the number 1 corner by a long shot, from what I've been hearing anyway. I mean, everyone's been talking about him, and I mean, honestly, I didn't watch him a whole lot the last couple of years at Ohio State, but I I mean, he comes from a big-time school.
Yeah, that helps for sure.
I mean, I think it just makes all the sense in the world. And I know what Matt Patricia is obviously trying to do in Detroit, a defensive-minded coach. And I think last year they took, was it Jared Davis, the linebacker?
No, they picked a tight end. They picked Hawkinson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the year before.
Maybe. It's easy to mix them up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too surprised either, though, if they traded back, because even though I'm having them pick Okudah here, he is a player who I believe they could probably get in later picks too, considering who's picking after them. So
Could they possibly be looking at offensive line as well?
they could be. That's not, that wouldn't be a bad pick.
I mean, Jarek Wills Jr. from Alabama.
Yeah, top-rated offensive lineman. Yeah, there's definitely options there, but I think Okudah would be not only the best, but I think it'd also be the safest pick as well.
I think so. I mean, cornerback obviously is the toughest position in the league to play, in my opinion, but I think that's the direction you go here. If he's that good, he's that highly touted, I wouldn't mess around. Just go ahead and grab the best corner on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, I am a bit surprised, though, that there hasn't been a trade yet, though, at this pick. Because I think that out of all the top 5, maybe even 10 picks, this would be the spot I would have said that would have happened.
Well, it's going to be really interesting to see what the Giants are going to do, because I've seen a lot of reports the last couple of days about them wanting to trade out of the number 4 pick.
That could be it, too.
Which I guess makes sense, because I don't know if there's really anybody the Giants desperately need this early. I mean, they drafted their quarterback, Daniel Jones, last year. So, I don't know. I mean, are you going to take Jarek Wills Jr. at number 4? I mean, I guess you could.
Well,
because obviously they definitely need offensive line help.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good pick because they got young quarterback, obviously Daniel Jones, and they have Saquon Barkley, so you got to protect your future. And it looks like the pick is in.
Yeah, the Lions didn't mess around with that. They were only on the clock for a couple minutes.
Good.
Speed it up. And by the way, we are only doing the top 10 picks. I think I forgot to mention that in the open. We're only doing the first 10 picks of the draft because honestly, as you probably can already tell, I don't know a whole lot about these players. I have not watched college football as much the last couple years, so we're just doing the top 10. We'll let the experts handle the rest of the first round.
Yeah, well said.
Well said, well said. I am interested in seeing where Isaiah Simmons is going to go, the linebacker out of Clemson, because I know he's like the for sure top linebacker in this draft, but he's kind of a hybrid player from what I've been reading. A lot of people are kind of unsure how he's exactly going to fit on an NFL defense and where he's going to play exactly.
Yeah, he can essentially play both linebacker and safety if they choose to.
Kind of similar to what people were saying about Derwent James a couple years ago.
Well, he turned out all right, but
yeah,
unfortunately, he's on the wrong team.
Zing.
Yeah, pick is in.
There's big Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia and his kid are not practicing social distancing.
Well, neither are we.
Yeah. Well, we're not going anywhere.
Man.
There's Roger Baddell. He has his card.
All right, here we go. Lions are making their pick.
He's talking. He's still talking. Yep, there it is.
All right, Okudah. So, wow, they're really, so far, I mean, everything's going according to plan.
Which is pretty rare.
Yeah, pretty much everybody and their mothers have these top 3 guys going to these respected teams. So, there you go. Jeff Okudah.
Yeah, obviously,
out of Ohio State.
The viewers can't see it, but I do think it's a little bit sad how there's such a small group of them at their parties that they're holding. Well, you can't
and plus, I mean, they were going to have the draft in Vegas this year, and I mean, it's just sad that these guys are not going to be able to fully experience the draft, but you know what? It is what it is, and they're still fortunate to be able to play in the National Football.
Yeah. they secured the bag.
They did.
So they got the New York Football Giants on the clock now. I think they're going to pick offensive tackle.
I would think, unless they want to take Simmons here
Yeah, they
to
could.
bolster that defense.
I don't think that would be a bad pick if they did pick Simmons, but...
Because, I mean, look, they need help at linebacker and safety.
Yeah, and Simmons is kind of both.
Right, so he kind of fills both needs, I guess. Kind of a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the offensive line has been just horrendous there for the Giants for so long.
I would go in that direction. It's, like I said, kind of similar to the Lions pick. This would be a safe pick, and they can also select the top-rated offensive lineman and Wills from Alabama.
Yeah, I think most would agree that Wills has got to be the first lineman to be taken here. For sure.
Yeah. I have Simmons actually going at 6 with the LA Spanoses.
Oh, okay.
I know a lot of people think they're going to pick a quarterback there, but I don't think Tom Telesco, their general manager, has the balls to do that.
Well, it comes down to, does he believe in Tua or Herbert, and are those two going to be available? I mean, it's looking like they probably will be. Cause,
well, yeah, but it seems pretty clear that they want to move forward with Tyrod Taylor, too.
Well, I think that's honestly just going to be a 2020 thing. And furthermore, I think maybe even after a few weeks, if Taylor's not really doing much, they might even just put the rookie in. But because we already know what Tyrod Taylor is.
Yeah.
You know, he's a decent backup. He's a guy that if you need him to start a couple games, he can probably get it done for you. You feel pretty comfortable having him as your backup, but as a full-time starter, I just don't see it. I mean, if that's what they're really thinking, then best of luck to him.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think they are going to pick a quarterback, but I've been wrong many times over the course of my life, so...
Well, Jarek Wills, a.k.a. the Mauler.
The Mauler. Quite a nickname.
6'4", 312 pounds out of Alabama. I mean, to me, he's definitely... I mean, look at all the guys that have been drafted out of Alabama over the last several years. I mean, offensive line especially. It seems
there's been a lot.
Every year there's guys going there. So, I mean, you pretty much know what you're getting. You're getting a Nick Saban coached player, which means he's NFL ready. He already knows what to expect. Because, I mean, Nick Saban practically has an NFL style of offense.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think that makes the most sense. I mean, Simmons is intriguing, and it probably would be hard for me to pass up on him if I'm the Giants, but just take care of your offensive line, man. They've been blowing it off for way too long.
Yeah.
They've been just doing a patchwork job over there for years.
Yeah, just like I said, you got to protect Daniel Jones, open up the holes for Saquon Barkley. That would be the direction they should go in. Maybe we can actually get our first surprise, though, with this pick, because everything so far has just been exactly what everyone has predicted. So
yeah,
you don't have to be an expert to know what's going to be happening.
Clearly, because we're the farthest thing from experts.
Oh, we're the big mouths. Come on.
But yeah, I mean, right now the Giants' left tackle is Nate Solder, however you pronounce his last name, from New England, of course. He had the prime of his years there, and he goes and signs a big contract with the Giants, and he's really been a disappointment, in all honesty, which seems to happen with a lot of Patriots players.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, again, tackle, just get it done, man. Just pick your tackle of the future now. Wills seems like a pretty well-established guy. Just don't overthink it.
Yeah.
But clearly they are, because they're still on the clock.
Well, while the Giants are pondering this pick,
Oh, excuse me.
who do you think Miami will be taking at number 5?
Well, I think they should take Tua, but I don't think they will. I think they're going to go with Herbert.
I agree with you. That's exactly the same way I would have put it. I definitely think they should pick Tua, but there's, from every indication and from all the alerts I've been getting, it sounds like they want Herbert, which, I mean, I guess in a way, it's at least they know what they want. That's always a good thing, but I definitely think that will be a mistake, though, in the long run.
I agree.
Unless if Tua's injury problems, catch up to him. There's that as well. But I just think that Tua's the better player.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I mean, as far as what else the Dolphins really need, I mean, they have a lot of holes, for sure.
Yeah.
But the good thing is Brian Flores, I think, really proved himself last year as a rookie head coach because he really got a lot out of very little.
Exactly.
I mean, that Dolphins team, most thought, they were going to have a hard time winning a game.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely did a phenomenal job. I mean, Flores maybe should have even won Coach of the Year, or at least been a runner-up for it.
Could have definitely got some consideration.
Most notable, they beat New England to knock them out of the second seed in the last game of the year in New England. Tom Brady's last regular season game with the Patriots lost to the Miami Dolphins. Who would have thought?
Yeah, the Chiefs definitely are sending Brian Flores a Christmas card this year.
Yeah.
Because who knows what would have happened if New England and Kansas City would have met up in the playoffs again.
New England may have won the Super Bowl again.
You never know, man.
Well, the Giants' pick is in about damn time.
Just patiently waiting here. You would think since we don't have the stupid, let's go up to the commissioner, give him a hug while I hold my new team's jersey and pose for 1 million pictures, that this would be going a lot faster. But I think they want to just drag this out as long as they possibly can.
Well, I mean, what else is going on in the world of sports, or even anything for that matter?
I get that, but at the same time, it's like, man.
Yeah, I agree.
If the pick's already in, just freaking get to it.
It's just the people in suits, that's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Those
Making
wonderful people.
bucks.
Joe Judge. Joe
New
Judge.
head coach of the Giants, the guy I couldn't even think of on our last show. I was like, man, I know they hired some scrub.
Patriots special team coordinator, now New York Football Giants head coach.
I think he was actually their receivers coach, wasn't he?
I may have read that wrong.
Yeah. Well, either way, I don't think he was on anyone's radar.
It's a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
You know who was kind of disappointing for the Giants last year was Saquon.
Well, I don't think it's entirely his fault, though, because when you trade away Odell Beckham Jr., you have way less talent there. Defenses can just hone in on him. So.
And there's the most hated man in New York right now.
Dave Gettleman. Yep.
Yeah, I've just heard so many Giants fans over the last year or two just completely bash him on sports radio.
Yeah. Well, regardless, they'll bash you on sports radio if you're from New York, regardless. So.
Agreed.
But. All right. Looks like they're about to do it. That's a nice building. Pretty lights. Oh, there he is.
Oh. Sorry for the 0 people on Twitter that are watching this.
There it is.
Wow.
Andrew Thomas.
Okay, that's a surprise.
It's not surprising that they're picking offensive linemen. It's just
who it is.
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
Man.
Yeah, I thought for sure Wills was going to be the guy here.
Well, that was the first surprise right there.
Yeah, Andrew Thomas is listed as the 16th best available player on ESPN right now. Offensive tackle out of Georgia, 6'5", 315 lbs. I mean, clearly a first-round talent. Is he a top 5 caliber player? I mean, that's kind of questionable.
I had him going at 10.
Yeah.
With 2 other offensive linemen ahead of him. So, I guess they really like him for reasons that we do not know.
There was clearly something about him that they liked over Wills. That's very interesting to me. I'd love to hear the thought process on that.
Well, you gotta think Giants fans are roasting Gettleman after this one.
Of course. Well, one thing you could say about Georgia, Matt, over the last couple of years is they've had a great running attack.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, they've had so many great running backs. I mean, of course, they had Sony Michel and Nick Chubb.
Todd Gurley.
Yep. So he's coming from a run-first offense, and if that's what the Giants are trying to do, which you would assume it is, because, again, they have Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, they have to.
Daniel Jones is a young quarterback. They don't want to put the game on his shoulders necessarily.
Not yet, anyway.
No. So it makes sense. I mean, this is what we were saying. They should definitely address the offensive line. They finally listened to us. And hopefully now they're off to better days.
For their sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a solid pick, but just a little bit surprising. But hey, if that's their man, good for them, you know?
A little earlier than I probably would have taken him, but there you go. Oh, Gettleman's putting on the mask.
Yeah, Gettleman's putting on a mask even though there's like no one inside that giant room, so safety first.
And there's Joe Judge.
And now we got Miami on the clock. And there's only 4 minutes and 45 seconds left, so we believe that they should pick Tua, but
they won't.
But we don't think that they will, and we think that they're going to pick Herbert.
Yeah.
So either way, they have to pick a quarterback here, though.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what Miami's thinking. Because, again, why were they trying to trade up? Like, that's my question. Did they think that somebody was going to try to trade up in front of them to grab Herbert?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing I could really think of, unless there was another player they just really wanted.
I think it was mostly for that reason, but they were also trying to get the number 1 pick from Cincinnati.
Right.
They were trying to get Burrow, which I can't blame them, but at the same time, they probably had to give up a lot of picks to do that. So
yeah, I just don't know if it would have been worth it. I mean, I understand, like, you get your guy, you're set up for the future. If he's going to be great, obviously it's worth it.
Yeah.
But Miami's, like I was just saying a few minutes ago, they're in a pretty decent spot right now. They got a fairly good roster. It's a young roster. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I think they really proved themselves last year. They played a lot better than expected, which I think is a compliment to their coach.
I would say, though, the one benefit that Miami has compared to like other teams is that obviously Ryan Fitzpatrick is not the long-term answer, but he's someone that could for sure start for them next year. So,
and they still have Josh Rosen.
That's true. Good point.
Who I still feel like has not been given a fair shot in the NFL.
No,
I mean, it's really a travesty. I mean, maybe he's not a good quarterback, no matter where he plays, but I just feel like
he hasn't been given his fair shot.
Yeah, he's been put against the wall from day one. I mean, Arizona's rookie year, they had no chance of doing anything successfully.
No.
And then he gets traded to Miami right after that. I mean, that had to be a pretty traumatic experience for him.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, but the Dolphins pick is in right now.
Yeah, this is the one I'm probably most intrigued about.
Yeah.
Maybe other than the Chargers. I feel like this is the pick that I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do.
I mean,
just because they could go in so many different directions.
I mean, I think they are going to pick a quarterback as well as I think they should, but I wouldn't be. I would be shocked, but if they did pick up Simmons, like I don't think that would be a terrible pick either, because I think he has really good potential to be.
And maybe they look for a quarterback in the second round.
They also have 3 first-round picks.
That's true. They have a lot of picks at their disposal, which is probably part of the reason why they were trying to move up.
So, yeah, I think they are going to pick Herbert here. But if they do pick Herbert, I do hope he does succeed. I know it doesn't sound like I'm high on him, which I'm not.
Neither one of us are.
But I do hope for the best for him. I mean, he is in a good culture. If he does, Miami does pick him there. It's a good culture.
I think they're building something there for sure. I think it's a fairly good spot for any young quarterback to walk into. I think if it would have been last year, probably a different tune that we're singing. But I think because of what we saw from them last year, and I just think with all these picks, they have a chance to really leap ahead of quite a few teams.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially now that New England's they're not out of the AFC East, but they're certainly not going to be the same Patriots, we don't think, moving forward.
If they pick Herbert, I would hope that they would sit him as long as possible. A year, maybe even 2 years. I know that sounds crazy.
I just don't know if you can really afford to do that these days in the NFL. I think
at least a year, I think.
I think you got to figure out as soon as you possibly can what type of quarterback you have. It's a win-now league more than ever.
Yeah, but here comes the pick.
Yep. Here's the Dolphins selection.
We're booing Roger Goodell right now. Oh my gosh. Wow. It was smoke screens all along, ladies and gentlemen.
They took Tua after all.
That's a great pick.
I can't believe it. Wow. So, yeah, I guess it was nothing but smoke screens, man.
They were stirring the pot. They did it very good.
All we've been hearing was that the Dolphins were no longer interested in Tua. They wanted Herbert over him, and apparently that was all just for show.
Wow. I'm trying to let that sink in for a second. I think that's a really good pick, though. That's
what we said earlier that they should be doing.
You can build your entire roster around this guy. He's a leader. The only red flag is his injury history, and
he sure has looked good in the videos I've seen.
In the video that they're showing right now. But I think it's a good pick for them, though.
And better yet, he doesn't go to the Chargers, where his career would have been a complete waste. Did I say that? I'm sorry.
No. You can say it again if you want, or I'll say it for you. His career would have been a waste if he went to the Spanoses.
And he's a Southern kid, too, so gets to go to the Dolphins, not too far from where he lives.
Well, he's from Hawaii, though, isn't he?
Right, but he's been in Alabama the last few years.
Gotcha.
So not too far from Miami. That's what I was saying. Yes, he is from Hawaii. I understand that. So no matter where he was going to be drafted, he was going to be pretty far from there. Yeah,
so with those two other first-round picks that Miami has, they could go in a lot of different directions, but wouldn't it help to get some weapons, like a receiver?
Oh, yeah. Well, like you said, they got a couple more picks, so this is just the beginning for Miami for sure. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to a team that we used to adore.
But not anymore.
Not anymore. The Los Angeles Chargers, a.k.a. Spanoses, a.k.a. Londoners.
Damn that team.
So, it seems pretty clear-cut that they should go with Herbert here. They need a quarterback. Rivers is no longer there, of course. Tyrod Taylor, good stopgap quarterback. Long-term, not the answer. But what else, or who else, I should say, would the Chargers be looking at here?
I don't even have the Chargers picking a quarterback here, so I know that's kind of surprising.
Well, who would you say they would go after? Is Simmons a possibility? Do they want to look at Derek Brown, the big nose tackle out of Auburn?
Well, here's the thing about Tom Telesco, the general manager. He never picks a position that desperately that they need. He always just picks best available.
Yeah. More times than not.
And more times than not, it also bites him in the ass. So, that's why...
Derwent James was his first good pick in quite a long time, let's be honest.
That's why I have him picking Simmons here, because I think Simmons is, just talent-wise, he's better than Herbert.
You put him with Derwent James, that's actually a pretty good-looking defense. I hate to admit it, but yeah, you put two guys that are kind of a similar player in a lot of ways. I think Simmons is a little more bulkier. But
I just think the Chargers, it's kind of hard to explain, but like, they never pick the guy that they should pick.
yeah, whatever you have them taking with this pick in your mock draft, you can just go ahead and throw it out because chances are it's not going to be.
Like, I know everyone's saying that they're going to draft a quarterback, and they might, but if they do pick Herbert,
I mean, they could also be looking at Jarek Wills here because Russell Okung just got traded to the Panthers.
but they also got Trey Turner back,
But he's more of a guard, isn't he?
Sure, good point.
So now they kind of need a tackle.
Yeah, but like I said,
I totally understand what you're saying. I mean, like we were saying, we used to be Charger fans, so every time we'd be like, oh, I hope they take this guy. They never would. They would always take somebody like, what? That guy wasn't even a first-round talent. Like, what the hell are you doing, Telesco?
Yeah, like Derwent James was probably the first one in years that they got. Voice crack there. First one in years that was like, okay, that's who they should have picked, and that was the correct pick.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good receivers, but receivers not a need for the Chargers. They have Keenan Allen, they have Mike Williams.
The thing is about Justin Herbert.
Pick is in.
About damn time. Losers. But the thing is about Herbert is that I just think he needs a lot of just molding, like a lot of coaching. Well, I think he has potential, don't get me wrong, but I just think if he gets thrown right into the fire, you're not going to like the results you get.
Well, plus, I mean, I hate to do it to the kid, but he's coming out of Oregon, where, let's be honest, the history there has not been great with quarterbacks. I know you got to go back to Dan Fouts, the last time they had a legitimate quarterback come out of Oregon. I mean, Mariota, of course, Marcus Mariota was the number 2 overall pick a few years back with the Titans. I mean, his career's been a major letdown. He just got released by the Titans this offseason. He's no longer there.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm not saying that that's the be-all, end-all just because he comes from a certain school, but, I mean, the level of competition has not been great in the Pac-12 the last couple of years. I mean, USC has not been that great. UCLA has been horrible for years.
I actually think that's debatable. I mean, the Pac-12 is as good as the SEC or the Big 10 or 12, don't get me wrong, but
those are all the major schools, so they're lower than all of them.
That's true, but, Oregon did beat Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl, and it's safe to say Wisconsin is the bigger school. So,
well, I mean, I could understand. I think Oregon was probably more talented, though, just in general. But I don't know. I mean, point is, I just feel like the competition wasn't super tough the last couple years anyway.
They just haven't had like a clear-cut team that's like gotten to the college football playoff. I think that's kind of it.
Cut.
Yeah, that's what's held that conference back. But I still think the Pac-12 still decent, but
I mean, San Diego State's been able to throw a couple of those teams around, steal their lunch money.
Well, I mean, that's our team. Well, the pick is in for the Spanoses.
It has been for several minutes. Excuse me.
Roger Goodell is clapping, just like Jason Garrett.
Look at those paid fans.
Yeah, they had to show that because they don't have true fans.
Just keep on coming. Here we go.
Oh, there it is. Justin Herbert.
They went ahead and took Herbert.
Poor guy. Poor bastard.
I feel for him, man. He's going to a team that nobody wants in Los Angeles. They have no fan support. They are going to a new stadium, which is cool, I guess, but
not going to help.
They're not going to have many of their own fans there anyway. Hey, look, hatred aside, the Chargers have a good roster, but they've had a good roster for how many years now?
Mediocre coaching. Bad ownership. No, terrible ownership.
The worst.
Front office is highly questionable. Yeah.
Just not an ideal situation. I know a lot of people on the outside are always high on the Chargers because, again, their talent is there. They have a pretty solid roster. But, I mean, look, they have just dropped the ball continuously for years now, so I don't see why now is going to be any different.
Yeah, plus I think 2018 was a fluke.
It was. How do you go from winning 12 games to how many did they win last year? 5? Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. like you said, all hatred aside, um, what they should do is just have Tyrod play, if not for the whole year next year. I think.
I mean, I think you try to ride him out as long as you can, but again, you know what you're getting from Tyrod Taylor. His ceiling is super low.
Yeah, but
and for a team that actually I think has a chance to win next year, I just don't know. Like, don't you want to see what you got in your number 6 overall pick?
yeah, I agree with that. From in most.
Because let's be honest, are they going to win a Super Bowl with Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback?
Well, no, but they're not going to win with Justin Herbert either. So what difference does it make?
But you got to at least see what you have in Herbert because he might be better than Taylor in the long run. So
Okay, but like you said, they got talent on that roster. So if they do actually start winning games, like if they completely bomb like the first few weeks of the year, then yeah, obviously
which is entirely possible.
Yeah, and hopefully that is the case, but
We're just beating them up like a dead horse right now.
But if Tyrod actually does win them games, why take him out?
Well, I don't know if they would take him out if they're winning games. I'm just saying that I don't think he's going to be the reason that they're going to be winning games.
If they're winning games, I don't think they should take him out. I'm sorry. I think Herbert should wait this out as long as possible. At least that's what the Chargers coaching staff should do. I just don't see why you would want to throw, because I think that he's going to have growing pains regardless.
But again, he's not going into a terrible situation as far as talent around him goes. Like if he's going to the Bengals, the Dolphins, one of those teams, yeah, I would completely agree. You sit him down as long as you can. But the Chargers are kind of a win-now team.
Yeah.
So I feel like because of that, and because Tyrod Taylor is not the type of guy that's going to carry a team on his back, they should just go ahead and roll out with the rookie from day one and just see what they got and just take their lumps. I mean, if he's playing so terribly in preseason that's so abundantly clear that he's definitely not ready, then okay, you ride with Taylor for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But at some point in 2020, I think they got to put Herbert in. I mean, this notion that they're just going to have him sit the entire year and then go into 2021 having really no idea still what they have, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, Patrick Mahomes sat out his first year. Look what he turned into. Aaron Rodgers sat out 3 years.
Well, yeah, but they had Alex Smith, who at the time was a pretty good quarterback. I mean, I would say he was better than what Tyrod Taylor is at this point. I'm not trying to disrespect Tyrod Taylor. Again, I like him a lot. I would love to have him as my backup quarterback if I'm a winning franchise. But if you expect him to go out there in 2020 and all of a sudden he's going to be a different player from what we saw in Buffalo a couple of years ago, I mean, I just think you're crazy.
Yeah.
He's just very limited as far as what he can do. He can scramble around, which is great. He doesn't turn the ball over very often either. He's smart with the football. He's a smart guy in general. Mm-hmm. But he's not someone that's going to make everyone around him better.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. He's not the future. I'll just agree to disagree with you, but I don't know.
You're wrong, I'm right.
But I don't know. I get where they're going. Obviously, they lost Phillip Rivers, so they do need to think about the future. So I don't knock them for drafting a quarterback here. But I just think that it's just...
Here's my other question for you, though. Are they kicking themselves for not trying to trade up? Because I have a feeling they probably would have rather have had Tua over Herbert.
They are kicking themselves right now.
So if that's the case, I mean, they probably are really frustrated right now, especially considering that all the reports have been, again, that the Dolphins were not going to take Tua.
Well, maybe the Chargers were dumb enough to take those smoke screens, or they tried trading up, but they couldn't come to an agreement.
Well, the other thing about Telesco is that he never usually trades out. Because we always wanted him to trade down and accumulate more picks. He would never do that. And I think he only traded up, once or twice from what I can remember?
I
know he traded up for...
I would have to think about it. I know you remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Fact check me on that one. But yeah, I mean, point is he usually just stays pat. He doesn't usually trade up or down. which I never understood. Like as a GM, like you got to be constantly looking for ways to either accumulate more picks if there's somebody that you really like, just freaking go for it.
Yeah. Well, we'll be talking about that pick probably a lot in the future, but for right now, it's
Certainly the most controversial to this point.
it's just I don't like that team.
Which,
Sorry to show my bias side, but
which is completely understandable.
we're San Diegans there. That's all you need to
They
know.
betrayed us.
We're loyal.
All right, well, let's move on to the Panthers because their pick is actually already in, and we haven't even talked about those poor schmucks. So the Panthers are, an interesting team because they went out and they signed Teddy Bridgewater to a huge contract.
Yeah, we talked in depth about that in episode 1. Check that out.
Yeah, which I was kind of surprised by. So they got rid of Cam Newton. They let him go, who's still a free agent. They have Matt Rule as their new head coach coming over out of Baylor, college coach. So that's always an interesting dynamic. You don't know how his philosophy, his strategy is going to translate to the NFL. So the Panthers, I feel like, have a lot of question marks. Luke Kuechly retired, all-pro linebacker, one of the best.
That one hurt.
So I don't know. I definitely feel like the Panthers have taken several steps backwards in 2020. This is going to be a very crucial draft for them.
Yeah, I agree. With this pick, though, they could go in a lot of different directions.
Hey, Randy.
Oh, man.
Looks like we got a good sports show. Randy Goodman following us right now on Twitter.
Randy Goodman. He's a good man.
He is. Zing. But yeah, as far as the Panthers go, I mean, they're not going to win in 2020.
The slush is about to come in. I have them picking Derek Brown. That's my guess. Just want to get that in before he says it.
Okay.
They are picking...
I would go Simmons here, personally.
Yeah, I got it right.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, man.
Derek Brown. Defensive tackle out of Auburn, the big guy, the big cat. I mean, here's a guy that easily could have gone in the top 5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to fault the Panthers for going in this direction. And the defensive line has definitely been something that they've needed to address. They did just lose Dontari Poe. So,
yeah. They won Julius Peppers, although Derek Brown's a defensive tackle, not a defensive end, but they still need a big guy up in the middle to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And again, I mean, they're not going to be winning in 2020 regardless, so I think for the future, this is a pretty darn good pick.
I do think that Carolina should pick a quarterback, though, at some point. Maybe not with the first round pick. I don't think they should have done that.
No,
but,
I think since they've got so much money committed to Bridgewater over the next, 4 years, I believe.
I think they should take on like a project quarterback in
Yeah.
the second, third, fourth.
Like if Jordan Love's available second round,
there you go.
maybe you look in that direction.
I had him going in the first round, but if he's available in the second round, I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, usually what ends up happening with these quarterbacks is a lot of them get drafted way earlier than we think because so many teams often are looking for quarterbacks. So I would not be surprised at all to see Jordan Love, maybe even middle of the first round going.
I would say though, also regarding with this pick of Brown, I did have Simmons going to the Chargers. So maybe it wouldn't have been a bad pick if the Carolina Panthers picked Simmons with the 7th.
I just feel like Simmons is more of a game changer.
Yeah.
I mean, Brown, obviously, he's not the sexy pick, but he's the guy that's going to clog up the middle, which is always important.
I think defensive line, they just lost Luke Kuechly, so yeah, they do need linebacker help.
They have a lot of holes.
Yeah.
And in the NFC South now that features Tom Brady in Tampa Bay and Drew Brees is still over there in New Orleans. Who's that? Hi, wife. That was my wife. But yeah, like I was saying, I mean, a division with the Saints and the Bucks, I mean, they're not going to win in 2020.
Yeah. I mean, I did have them picking Brown there, and I did get that right, but I think in hindsight, I may have picked Simmons there, considering that he was still on the board.
I can understand both sides of the argument there. I agree. I would probably go with Simmons just because I think he's more of the game changer type of talent.
Yeah.
I think he's somebody that's going to, be a freaking all-pro for many years to
Yeah.
come. Derek Brown, I mean, look, it's hard to be like like a freaking MVP type of guy on the defensive line front.
He could be the next Aaron Donald. You never know.
Well, that's true, but I mean, after Aaron Donald, there's not a whole lot of interior linemen in the league that really I feel like are game changers necessarily.
Well, one thing that he has going for him though is that he played in the SEC. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. So toughest conference. He was a game changer in that regard.
And he was going against Alabama's offensive line, which is littered with NFL talent. So he kind of got a taste already of what it's like. I mean, the guy's built for the NFL, clearly.
It's a solid pick. I'll give him a solid B if I had to grade it.
Yeah. Time will tell.
So anyway.
Arizona's on the clock.
And their pick is in.
What are we thinking here, Matt? I mean, they got their quarterback last year, of course, with Kyler Murray, who I thought, all things considered, had a pretty decent rookie year.
He did.
Of course, they made the trade with the Texans to get DeAndre Hopkins.
They should not pick a receiver here.
I could kind of see. I mean, they do have Christian Kirk.
Okay, let me cut you off real quick. The pick is coming in. I have I have them picking Tristan Wirfs here.
Okay, the offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably be the smartest pick. They went with Simmons.
Well, I'll be damned.
Is that an alcoholic beverage he's drinking?
I condemn him for that.
Oh, that's not him. That must be a brother or something there.
Yeah.
All right. So Isaiah Simmons, the guy we've been talking about, seems like with every pick here.
Okay, well,
it's off the board. I love that pick for the Cardinals. Although their offensive line is in shambles right now, and Murray is already running for his life. So I definitely felt like offensive tackle would have made the most sense. But I feel like since Simmons did fall to them at pick 8, it's probably a little too good to just pass up like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely looking at best overall talent, and I don't blame them. I mean, the Cardinals are a team that has a lot of holes, so they went with the best man available, and he should make a pretty big difference next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that defense certainly was a long ways off from being a relevant group. So I think Simmons immediately makes them better. Yeah, they're showing here on the TV. He played slot corner, inside linebacker, safety, and outside linebacker. That is crazy. So literally just everywhere. They have him listed as linebacker, but it looks like he played more secondary. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it really depends on what the coach, in this case with the Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury, like what they're going to ultimately do with him. I feel like you can put him all over the field. I mean, I don't think you have to like necessarily designate him in one spot or another. Yeah. Like he's going to be rotating, I think, all throughout on the defense. I mean, you could line him up even as an edge rusher if you wanted to. You should have like a Derwent James or a Marc Barron type role. Just let him be the quarterback of the defense, essentially. He's going to be the guy that's going to be lining everybody up, and he's just going to be kind of picking his spots as far as where he wants to go. Give him that headset. Yeah. Yeah, looking at the tape on him right now, I mean, he definitely looks more like a safety to me than a linebacker. He's pretty tall. He is. He's 6'3". So I think safety definitely probably makes the most sense. But they can still bring him in the box and use him as a blitzer. I mean, he's clearly tough enough to play linebacker. Just a freakish talent. You know, I think it's a solid pick for pick 8, though. Definitely go offensive line in the second round. Oh, they should. I mean, Kyler Murray, that poor kid is just going to get killed. That poor kid. All right, so Jacksonville's on the clock, Matt. The Jaguars, who, man, what has happened to them? I mean, that whole team has just been dismantled over the last couple of years. I mean, they were one and done. Yeah, they made it to the AFC Championship a couple of years ago, and now all of a sudden they're kind of back to where they were before that, just bottom of the barrel doormat of the NFL with a lot of question marks. You know, nobody really talked about it like pre-draft, but I thought personally they could have been another team that could have traded up and drafted one of these quarterbacks. Yeah, I was really surprised that we didn't hear anything about that. And honestly, I mean, they should have, I think, tried to. Maybe they did, but they should have tried to trade up to get a quarterback. Yeah, I like Gardner Minshew, but I don't think he's the face of the franchise. Minshew had, what, like 3 or 4 really solid weeks where we're like, man, where did this guy come from? He was a 6th-round pick, I believe, right? Or yeah, he was definitely later in the draft. he comes out of nowhere, takes over for Nick Foles, who got hurt week 1. And he looked great. And then all of a sudden, I think once coaches got some film on him, they discovered, oh, he's really not that great. We just have to blitz him more, and boom, he's going to start turning the football over.
I mean, I would still roll the dice with them week 1 heading into next year, and it looks like they kind of have to.
I mean, I think they got a solid backup, which is a valuable thing to have in the NFL. But if they think that he's going to be their guy moving forward, I mean, give me a freaking break. I mean, this team has just got so many issues. And, of course, they've also been throwing out the rumors about Leonard Fournette, about him possibly getting dealt. I mean, we already know he's not happy there. Although they did get rid of Tom Coughlin, who was kind of the biggest problem, it seemed like, as far as the relationship goes with Fournette.
Also, side note with rumors with the Jaguars, they might be the next London team.
Yeah.
Side note, but
They're playing 2 of their home games in London this year, which I feel for the fans in Jacksonville.
yeah, I'd be pretty pissed. But
It's just awful what they're doing to them. But so yeah, I mean, look, they have a lot of need. I mean, I don't know if they're going to draft a quarterback here. I mean, you're not going to take Jordan Love in the top 10, are you?
I have Jordan Love going in the first round, but I think it would be quite a reach to pick him at 9.
I mean, if anything, you'd want to trade down and accumulate picks, because I don't think anybody picking right after them is going to be interested in Love.
That wouldn't have been a bad idea if the Jags traded down either to get more draft picks, but the pick is already in.
Oh, okay.
I have them picking C.J. Henderson, the quarterback from Florida, because they lost Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Boye. Is that how you announce his name? They lost both of their top corners, so I think that's probably their biggest need. And also,
what about Jerry Jeudy from Alabama, wide receiver?
That wouldn't be a bad pick either.
Because they did just release, was it Marquise Lee they released?
Yeah. That team is a mess, my God.
And then the defensive end, whose name I can't pronounce, who's very frustrated with them right now, is trying to get traded. You know what I'm talking about.
It's honestly sad, man. Like,
we got Randy back on Twitter.
and that team they were so close to the Super Bowl in 2017, and just the wheels have completely fallen off.
One game away from the Super Bowl with Blake Bortles as their quarterback.
Maybe even one bad call away.
Yeah. They were right in that game with the Patriots, so it's just really a shame.
That's why I think they should have traded up here and get a quarterback, because they got to start looking for the future, and with pick 9 here, I don't think they really can do that.
Randy's saying they need a cornerback.
Well, I have them picking C.J. Henderson, so Randy, I agree with you.
Yeah, but I mean, a cornerback, is that really the Jags' number 1 need right now?
Yes, it is.
No.
Well, I mean, unless if you say quarterback, which
that offense as a whole is an absolute disaster right now. I mean, they still have some decent players on defense. What is Randy saying? We're getting ready to go on a run.
Exercise.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, man.
Randy's excited. He's probably barbecuing.
I would go for a run, but I'm not trying to lose weight.
And you're one of the very few in America. During this quarantine.
I'm all about weight gaining.
Most of us have gained weight and are trying to lose weight.
I want muscle gain.
All right.
Some steroids, bro.
So after this pick, it'll be the Brownies, and I think that'll be it for us. We're going to be signing off.
Well, I think we should make our predictions for the rest of the first round before we sign off.
Well, I mean, who would you say is the most notable player available at this point? I mean, Jedrick Wills is still available.
Which is shocking. That's surprising.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to go well before this. I thought top 5 or maybe pick 7 or 8.
Randy's running to the refrigerator.
Oh. Whoops, sorry, Randy, dropped you there.
All right, here we go. Picks in.
I'm going to say Justin Jefferson from LSU.
I disagree. Oh, we got it right! Me and Randy. Oh, man. Brings a tear to my eye.
Sad day when your younger brother is out picking you. There we go, Randy says, yep, you guys are on the same page there. Well, look, I mean, Henderson, I mean, I think everyone would agree that he was the second best corner in this draft. I don't think there was really any debate. So, I mean, look, it's a good pick for the Jags, but at the same time, I feel like this is a pretty loaded draft for corners in general. I feel like they could have gotten somebody maybe later on. I would have gone for a more impact player, like maybe a wide receiver, like we were just talking about, the kid from Alabama. Judy, however you pronounce his last name.
Yeah. Well,
or maybe even offensive line, honestly.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that they're so desperate for talent there, it's almost like any pick they make is just an upgrade. And I do think that, Henderson, he's a tall corner, which I think is a good thing. Tall and fast. He's 6'1", over 200 pounds. He's also a good tackler.
Yeah, he's not afraid to tackle, which is always a good thing and a rare thing for a corner.
So, I mean, I think it's a solid pick.
Talented kid for sure. He's going into a pretty rough situation because
I think there's a good chance the Jaguars might be the first pick next year.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is, this kid's going to be left on an island because, like you were mentioning, they've lost all their secondary help.
Yeah.
So opposing teams' quarterbacks are just going to be gunning for this kid from day one. So he's going to be tested, and I don't know.
It kind of looks like his father is more excited than himself.
Well,
poor kid.
Probably because he has to play in London so much.
Get that passport out, kid.
The Jacksonville Londoners, man. Oh my goodness. Well, hey, the Cleveland Brownies, to wrap up our draft coverage here, their pick is already in. The Browns do not have the number one pick like they seem to almost every year. But with that being said, last year was just an absolutely miserable season for them, considering all the trades they made. They brought in Odell.
Yeah, it was rough.
Did not meet expectations.
I just think the media put too much hype on them. It wasn't just...
Yeah, but some of that was on them, though. They were kind of pumping their chest out even before the season started. I was like, all right, guys, you're still the Brownies. Like, until you actually prove yourselves here, I wouldn't be saying anything. That's what ended up happening.
Well, I had them picking Andrew Thomas here, but he went number 4 to the Giants.
It's got to be Wills.
Yeah.
Come on. This is a slam dunk, in my opinion. It's got to be Wills.
But it's the Browns. They always screw these things up.
Yeah, they do. They don't need a receiver.
Looks like Roger Goodell's crying.
Well, hopefully somebody kicked him in the gonads. The dog pound. Let us hear ya.
The fans are happy.
All right, here we go.
There it is, Jedrick Wills.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Solid pick. The Browns got it right. He really just fell right into their laps. Like we said, he easily could have gone top 5. So I really like this pick for the Brownies. Got to give Baker more protection. Obviously, Baker's got to be smarter with the football.
Yeah.
But giving him more time certainly will not hurt.
Exactly.
And it will also help them even more so establish that running game with Nick Chubb, which they definitely need to get back to more so in 2020 than they did last year.
Yeah, like you were saying too, Alabama guy. So.
Yeah. He's pro ready. He's ready to go. All right, Matt. Well, before we sign off, any last minute thoughts, predictions, thoughts on the top 10?
I guess I'll do the thoughts on the top 10 first, then I'll do predictions.
Okay.
It was pretty much scripted, especially the first 3 picks in particular. It was,
really, there weren't any huge surprises.
I think Andrew Thomas going at 4.
Right, that was probably the number 1.
But it was still kind of like they needed tackle to begin with, so it's not like in that regard.
And it was surprising that Tua went to the Dolphins just because of everything we've been hearing from the media the last several weeks. But we both agreed, and we said it before the draft even started, that Tua should go to Miami. That makes the most sense.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, it wasn't really a surprise. And then Herbert going to the Chargers, again, that wasn't really a surprise necessarily either.
Curious to see how it's going to work out, though. But
Yeah, I called that one.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Miss Smarty Pants over there. So, okay, and then as far as any predictions, you think anything's going to happen that is going to be worth noting here?
The Jets are at 11. I say they pick linemen. The Raiders pick 12. I think the Raiders got to pick a receiver.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got because they lost Antonio Brown, and rightfully so. They
Who never played for them technically.
They had Amari Cooper. They traded him.
Right.
So
yeah, they definitely need another receiver. No question about that.
There's been talks they might draft a quarterback, but I'm not buying it.
No, I don't see the Raiders doing that.
I think Gruden likes Derek Carr.
I mean, I think certainly, like we've been saying about a couple of teams, if they want to take a quarterback second or third round, not going to dispute that. But pick number 12, absolutely not. As far as the Jets go with this pick, I mean, where do you start with those damn Jets, man? I mean, it seems like every year they have the same problems, the same holes to fill.
Well, they got their quarterback situation taken care of, and they got their running back in Bell.
So you're a believer of Sam Darnold, huh?
Well, he's only played 2 years, so you got to give him a shot.
I'm not a big Sam Darnold guy. I wasn't from the get-go.
Well, I mean,
there's just something about those SC quarterbacks.
Yeah, but they started off terrible, like when he wasn't there. But they did rattle off some wins. Like they beat the Steelers. They beat the Cowboys.
Just the fact that they have Adam Gase as their head coach.
That's a good point.
They have no shot of competing. I'm sorry. Adam Gase is just an awful head coach. The fact that he got that job right after Miami cut him loose is an absolute joke.
The division is open this year, though, so I think if
so if they don't win this year, Gase has got to go. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
I also prediction. Prediction.
Go ahead.
I have New England not taking a quarterback in the first round.
Okay.
Because a lot of people have them picking Jordan Love. I don't think Belichick's going to pull the trigger on round one. I don't think.
I mean, Belichick seems to do just fine in the middle of the draft with quarterbacks, so I honestly would agree with you there. I don't really see him reaching for a quarterback at this point.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they could have been one of the teams that traded up to possibly get Tua. I thought that might have been a possibility. But yeah, I would agree. I would say they're probably going to hold off until at least the third or fourth round.
Yeah, because it's definitely curious to see where that organization is going to go forward, considering that they've been the top team for the past 20 freaking years.
Absolutely. Now you want to go ahead and hand me that phone because I'm about to sign us off on Podbean and on YouTube and on Twitter. So for those of you that are tuning in live, which I guess is just Randy because that's the only platform we're using right now for being live, we appreciate the support. Thanks for tuning in. And for those that are listening to the recorded version, which is most of you, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time on Big Mouth Willie Bass Podcast. I'm Ryan Willis.
And I'm Matt Willis.
See you later.